The night was quiet, but Rylan knew something was wrong the moment he stepped into the government briefing room. He had taken many jobs before guarding alien diplomats, escorting dangerous prisoners, even fighting off raiders, but this contract felt different from the start. The room had only one light on, one chair pulled out, and one file placed neatly in the center of the table. It was as if the mission was prepared only for him, but the real warning sign came from his own body. His heartbeat was stronger, faster, almost like his instincts were shouting at him before he even touched the file. The officer in charge, Commander Hawley, stood by the window with his hands behind his back. His voice was low, calm, too calm. "Rylan, this job is classified. You cannot refuse it." Rylan frowned. "Then why ask me?" "Because only you can handle it." Rylan didn't like that answer. He slowly opened the file, expecting a criminal profile or a dangerous alien species summary. What he saw instead made him freeze. A picture of a girl, young, alone, frightened. Her eyes were bright silver, not natural for any human. Her hair glowed faintly like moonlight. Under the photo, her name was written, Leora, Superiority species, high value. Rylan looked up. "This is a child?" "She's not a child," Hawley corrected quickly. "Her species ages differently. She is 18 in human years." "And I'm supposed to protect her?" "Yes, and keep her hidden, at all costs." Rylan closed the file slowly. He still didn't understand. Why him? Why this girl? Why this level of secrecy? Hawley continued. "Leora escaped from an attack on her colony. The people hunting her won't stop. They will track, capture, or kill anything in their way." Rylan felt a chill. This didn't sound like normal protection work. "And there's one more thing," the commander added. "Her biology reacts differently around humans, especially around human males." Rylan raised an eyebrow. "React how?" Hawley hesitated. "Which was rare, very rare. You will see." Those words bothered Rylan more than any threat. Still, he accepted the job. Something inside him, maybe duty, maybe instinct, made him feel like he was meant to take it. When Rylan arrived at the secure safe house later that night, he expected guards, scanners, and heavy security. Instead, it was almost silent. Only 2 guards stood outside, acting nervous for no clear reason. Inside, he found Leora sitting alone, near a small lamp, hugging her knees like she was trying to disappear into herself. She didn't look dangerous. She looked exhausted, lost, and scared. When she noticed him entering, her eyes widened, glowing faintly in the dim light. Her voice was soft, trembling. "You are the human who will protect me?" Rylan nodded. "Yes, my name is Rylan." She lowered her head, almost shy. "I am Leora." He could feel something strange the moment he stood within a few feet of her. A warmth, a pressure, almost like the air around her was alive. He cleared his throat and stepped back slightly. Leora looked away. "I am sorry. My body does this. I cannot control it." "What do you mean?" Rylan asked. Before she could answer, the lights flickered. Rylan turned sharply, hand going to the gun at his side. The building felt still, but too still. A strange tension floated in the air. Leora's breathing became faster. Someone is near." Rylan moved closer to her carefully, noticing her hands shaking. "It's okay," he said softly. "You're safe. I'm here." The moment the words left his mouth, something unbelievable happened. Leora's skin glowed with a soft, pale light. A warmth spread through the room like a pulse, reaching Rylan before he could move away. It wasn't painful. It wasn't dangerous, but it was intense, almost overwhelming. His heart beat faster. His muscles felt charged. Leora gasped and tried to pull the glow back, forcing herself to calm down. "I'm sorry, my species reacts when we feel safe or scared. Humans are very strong triggers." Rylan stepped back quickly. "This is what the commander meant." She nodded, ashamed. This is why they want to capture me. My species can bond with others. Our energy adapts, connects, and changes things. She swallowed hard. I don't want to hurt you. You didn't, Rylan said. But he wasn't sure if he was telling her or himself. Because whatever just happened, it didn't feel like danger. It felt like something else. Before he could think further, a sudden alarm screeched through the safe house. The red emergency lights turned on, coating the walls in blood-like color. Raylan grabbed Leora's arm gently. Stay behind me. Her eyes widened with fear. They found me, already? Rylan didn't answer. He scanned the hallways, every sense fully awake now, not just from his training, but from her strange energy that still lingered in his chest. The sound of boots echoed through the building. Doors slammed open, one by one. Leora whispered, her voice breaking, "Someone is watching us, right now." Raylan pulled out his weapon, placing himself between her and the door. "Let them come," he said in a calm, steady voice. But inside, his mind raced. This wasn't just a protection job, This was something else, something deeper, something dangerous, and something that neither he nor Leora was ready to face. The alarm kept echoing through the safe house. But for Rylan, the real danger wasn't the sound. It was the terrified look in Leora's glowing eyes. She stood close to him, hands shaking, her breath uneven. Her skin still faintly lit with the strange silver energy that reacted to his presence. "Stay calm," he whispered, but even he felt the tension crawling up his spine. The footsteps outside the room grew louder. Someone was moving fast, too fast for normal soldiers. Rylan reached for the emergency shield panel, pressing his palm on the scanner. A transparent barrier slid over the door just as shadows crossed the hallway. Leora stepped back, pressing herself against the wall. "Why are they after you?" Raylan asked without taking his eyes off the door. She swallowed hard. "Because my energy reacts to certain people. It bonds. And once a bond forms, it can make a human stronger, faster, unstoppable." Rylan froze for a moment, remembering how his body felt when her energy touched him earlier, the warmth, the sudden strength, the clarity. It wasn't normal. It wasn't human. "And you think I am one of those people?" Raylan whispered. Leora didn't answer. She didn't need to dot her trembling body, her glowing skin. It was already proof. "They want to use me," she finally said in a broken voice. "Use my instincts, my biology, my ability to bond. To create soldiers, controlled soldiers." Rylan clenched his jaw. He had seen many cruel things in his career, but this? Using an alien girl like a weapon? It disgusted him. Another metallic crash thundered through the hallway. The enemy was cutting through the door barrier. Rylan quickly grabbed her hand. "We have to move." The moment he touched her, the air shifted again. Her glow brightened. A wave of warmth surged from her skin to his arm. His heartbeat kicked up. His muscles tensed, his senses sharpened. It was like electricity traveling through him. Leora gasped and pulled her hand back. "I'm sorry. I can't control it. My body reacts on its own." "It's fine," he said, though his chest felt like it was burning. "Just stay close." They slipped into a narrow service corridor behind the safe house lab, the emergency lights flashing on and off. Every flash showed Leora's silver glow growing brighter, almost syncing with Rylan's heartbeat. "Your energy, it gets stronger when you're scared?" he asked as they ran. "And when I trust someone," she whispered without looking at him. That answer hit him harder than the alarms. They reached a metal hatch leading to the underground tunnels. Raylan pulled it open and motioned her inside. But before they could descend, the safe house door behind them exploded. A shockwave rattled the walls. From the smoke stepped a tall figure, armored in matte black gear, helmet glowing red. He moved silently, too smoothly, like a machine. Leora froze. "That's one of them, the hunters." Raylan positioned himself in front of her. "Keep going down the tunnel," he ordered. "No." She grabbed his arm again. If they hurt you, her glow intensified instantly, almost blinding. Raylan felt a surge of energy hit him like a pulse. His strength spiked. His vision sharpened. Even his fear melted away. The hunter stepped forward. Raylan didn't wait. He charged. The impact shook the corridor. The hunter swung a heavy arm at him, but Raylan blocked it with surprising ease, Leora's energy boosting every part of him. He felt faster, stronger, almost unstoppable, just like she said. But the hunter wasn't weak. He was trained, enhanced, and ruthless. He punched Raylan backward, smashing him into the wall. Leora screamed, her glow erupting violently. The silver light shot from her body like a pulse, hitting the hunter and sending him crashing several meters back. Raylan stared at her in disbelief. "You did that?" I didn't mean to," she whispered, trembling. "My instincts, when someone I trust is hurt, they react." Her knees weakened. She dropped down, hands shaking uncontrollably. Raylan rushed to her side, lifting her gently. "Leora, hey, look at me. Stay with me." Her breathing was shallow. "If my energy keeps activating like this, it will drain me." He tightened his grip around her. "Then I'll protect you before it reaches that point. Come on." Together, they descended into the tunnel just as more hunters stormed the corridor above. The darkness swallowed them, only lit by the faint glow from Leora's skin. After a long silence, Leora finally whispered, "Raylan, I'm scared of myself. Scared of what my body does. What if I hurt you too?" Raylan shook his head. "You won't. And even if you did, I'm here for a reason. Maybe your instincts aren't wrong." Leora looked at him, confused and emotional. "What reason?" Raylan didn't answer immediately. He simply held her steady as they walked deeper into the darkness, because he didn't know the full reason yet, but he felt it. Fate was pulling them together, and whatever was coming next. Their bond was only getting stronger. The underground tunnel was cold, damp, and silent, too silent. Only Leora's faint silver glow lit their path as Raylan guided her deeper inside. Each step echoed like whispers bouncing off the old metal walls. Raylan kept scanning ahead, instincts sharp, the energy from Leora still moving through his body like a quiet storm. Leora held onto his sleeve, still weak from the last surge. "Raylan, will they follow us?" He didn't lie. "Yes, they won't stop." Her glow flickered with fear. "Then how long until they reach us?" Raylan listened to the faint rumble above their heads. Metallic steps. Doors opening. Soldiers shouting commands. "Not long," he answered. Leora's breath hitched. "They want me alive. But they will not be gentle." Raylan tightened his grip on his weapon. "Not while I'm here." They walked until they reached an old maintenance hub, broken lights, dusty panels, and a single access ladder leading upward. Raylan checked the map on his wrist device. "This leads to Sector E," he said. "Old construction zone. We can hide there." Before Leora could respond, the tunnel lights flickered. Once, twice. Then died completely. Only her soft glow remained. A low hum filled the air. Leora froze. They activated a pulse scanner. Raylan knew what that meant. The scanner wasn't tracking sound or heat. It was tracking energy signatures, and Leora glowed like a walking beacon. "Turn off your glow," he whispered urgently. "I cannot," she whispered back. "Not when I'm scared." The hum grew louder. Raylan took a deep breath. "Then stay behind me." He pulled her gently toward a metal alcove and crouched, shielding her with his own body as the hum intensified. Leora clutched his back, trembling. The pulse scanner swept through the tunnel like a wave of invisible pressure. When it passed over them, Leora gasped softly, her glow flaring against her will dot above. A metallic voice echoed. "Target detected. Level -3. Move in." Raylan cursed under his breath. They were found. They climbed the ladder quickly, emerging into a deserted maintenance level. The entire sector was silent, with old pipes and forgotten machines scattered everywhere. Dust hung in the air like fog. Rylan checked Leora's condition. She was still glowing, her eyes brighter now. "My instincts are reacting again," she whispered. "Someone strong is above us." As if on cue, the ceiling shook. Heavy footsteps marched in formation. Raylan pulled her behind a large rusted crate. "Stay low," he whispered, but it was too late. A deafening explosion tore through the ceiling, sending concrete and dust in every direction. Rylan instantly wrapped himself around Leora, taking the impact. The blast was brutal, the shockwave lifting them off the ground. When the dust settled, Raylan opened his eyes to find 3 armored hunters surrounding them through the hole in the roof. Weapons charged. Leora gripped his arm tightly, panic flooding her face. "Rylan, they will take me." "No," he said firmly. "They won't." One of the hunters stepped forward. His helmet slid open, revealing a pale-skinned alien with black markings across his face. His voice echoed coldly, "Hand over the Ciliari girl. You are outnumbered. Do not resist." Rylan stood, pulling Leora behind him. "If you want her," he said quietly, "you'll have to get through me." The alien smirked. "Then you will die first." He raised his weapon. At that exact moment, Leora screamed, her glow exploding outward like a burst of lightning. The silver light slammed into Rylan's back, surging through him with overwhelming force. But unlike before, this wasn't just warmth. This was power. Pure power. Raylan felt his muscles tighten, his senses expand, his mind sharpen. Every sound became clearer, the hum of the hunter's weapons, the crackle of sparks, the drip of water behind him. He stepped forward, body trembling with the sudden energy. The alien paused, surprised. "Impossible. She bonded with you fully?" Rylan didn't know what that meant. He didn't care. He charged. The first hunter fired. Raylan dodged with unnatural speed, the pulse beam slicing the air where he had stood a heartbeat earlier. He slammed his fist into the hunter's chest, sending him flying across the room. The second hunter swung a blade. Raylan blocked it with his bare arm, sparks flying. He grabbed the blade and snapped it in half like glass. The alien leader staggered backward, suddenly unsure. How is a human doing this? Raylan didn't answer. He didn't need to. Leora's energy flowed through him like a storm, fueling every movement, but Leora herself was struggling. Her glow flickered violently. She dropped to her knees, breathing hard. "Rylan, stop. My energy, if you use too much, I will collapse." Her voice wavered, desperate. Rylan froze. The alien leader saw the hesitation and fired. The blast hit Rylan directly in the chest, sending him crashing into a pillar. Pain exploded through him. Leora screamed and crawled toward him, her glow unstable. "Rylan! Rylan!" He forced himself up, coughing, body shaking. The alien leader aimed again, but Rylan stepped in front of Leora, arms out, ready to take the shot. Her trembling hand reached for him. "I don't want to lose you." The alien fired. A blinding flash filled the room. A shockwave blasted outward, and everything went silent. The room was filled with dust and fading echoes. But Rylan could barely hear anything except the pounding in his ears. He opened his eyes slowly, vision blurry. The last thing he remembered was the alien leader firing directly at them, yet somehow they were still alive. And then he saw her. Leora knelt beside him, shaking violently. A faint silver barrier flickered around them like a weak shield, crackling in the air. Her glow was almost gone, dim, unstable, like a fading flame. "Rylan," she whispered, voice breaking. I stopped the blast, but it drained me too much." Raylan sat up slowly, forcing his sore body to move. "You saved me again." Leora closed her eyes. "My instincts acted on their own, but I cannot do it again. Not without hurting myself." He gently placed a hand on her shoulder. She flinched but didn't pull away. Instead, she leaned into his touch as if trying to draw comfort from it. "You shouldn't have risked yourself," Rylan said softly. Liora shook her head. "I would rather break my own body than let them take you." Her words struck him deeper than any blast, but they didn't have time to stay still. The alien leader lay unconscious nearby, but the other hunters were already regrouping outside. Their heavy boots echoed from the corridor. "We need to move," Rylan said. Liora tried to stand, but her legs failed, and she collapsed again. Rylan didn't hesitate. He picked her up in his arms. The instant he did, her glow shifted, becoming warmer, softer, almost peaceful. She rested her head against his chest, her breath slow and shallow. "Why does your energy change like this?" Raylan asked as he carried her through the cracked maintenance door into the deeper tunnels. Liora hesitated before answering. "My species. We do not choose who we bond with. Our bodies choose first. The heart follows later." Raylan slowed. "Bond?" She nodded weakly. "We sense safety, warmth, trust, and when that feeling becomes strong, our energy connects. It strengthens the one we bond with, protects them." She looked away. "But it also drains us." Raylan's heartbeat tightened. "What you did earlier when you gave me that strength, that was the beginning of a bond," she whispered. Raylan swallowed hard. This wasn't just biological. It felt deeper, real, something he didn't want to admit out loud. "And the hunters," Raylan said slowly, "they want that? They want you because of this bond?" Liora nodded again, but this time her voice trembled with fear. "They want to force it, artificially. They want my body to bond with soldiers, so they can become powerful without earning trust or connection." Raylan clenched his jaw, anger rising in him. "That's why they're hunting you?" "Yes," Liora whispered. "They want to weaponize what my people call soul link energy." Raylan carried her deeper into the tunnels, until they reached a partially collapsed chamber with old crates and broken screens. He gently lowered her onto a block of concrete and checked her breathing. She was shaking, not from fear, but from exhaustion. "Stay here," he said. "I'm going to block the entrance." But she grabbed his hand weakly. "Raylan, there is more." He sat beside her, realizing she needed to speak. Liora looked at him with shining silver eyes filled with pain. "My entire colony was attacked because of me. They called me pure-born. It means my instincts are stronger than others. My bond can reach deeper. It is rare. And dangerous. You were the target?" Raylan whispered. "Yes. They attacked my people only to capture me. My mother hid me and told me to run." Raylan felt a sharp twist in his chest. She lowered her head. "I heard her scream. I heard everything. I ran, Raylan. I left her behind." Her voice cracked. Raylan gently lifted her chin. "Liora, you survived because she wanted you to live. That is not your fault." Tears built in her glowing eyes. "My mother said, one day I would meet someone who would trigger my bond fully. Someone my heart and instincts would trust completely." Raylan's breath caught. "Someone like me?" Liora's eyes softened. "I did not understand before, but now. I think the bond chose you long before I even realized it." For a moment, there was no tunnel, no hunters, no danger, just the warmth of her energy flowing softly between them. But reality returned quickly. The ground shook above them. Heavy doors opened. The hunters were closing in again. Raylan stood up. "We need to find a safer place. There must be an exit ahead." Liora tried to rise but collapsed again, her glow flickering like a dying candle. "I can't walk." Raylan didn't hesitate. He picked her up again. Her arms slid weakly around his shoulders. "Raylan, if the bond grows stronger, you will feel more changes. Your strength, your senses, everything will increase." He looked down at her. determination burning in his eyes. Then let it happen. She blinked. You're not afraid? I'm afraid of losing you, he said, voice low. Not of the bond. Her glow warmed instantly at his words, soft silver light surrounding them like moonlight. Behind them, the sound of metal being torn apart echoed through the tunnels. The hunters had found their trail. Raylan tightened his grip on her. Hold on, Leora, he whispered. Whatever secrets your people left behind, we'll face them together. And with her faint glow lighting the darkness, he ran deeper into the unknown. Raylan moved quickly through the twisting tunnels. His arms locked firmly around Leora's small, trembling frame. Her glow flickered faintly against the walls, guiding their path like a dim silver lantern. Every few steps he could feel her body weaken further. Every few minutes her head grew heavier against his shoulder, but the further they ran, the stronger something inside him became. His senses sharpened. His steps grew lighter. His heartbeat steadied, even though danger was closing in. And he knew exactly why. Leora's energy, her bond, was changing him, not just fueling him, changing him. They finally reached an abandoned subway chamber, dusty tracks. Shattered lights, rusted trains frozen in time. Raylan placed Leora gently against a wall and crouched beside her. Her breaths were shallow, her glow dimmer than ever. Leora, look at me, Raylan said softly. She opened her eyes slowly. The silver in them was faint, almost fading. Raylan, the bond is too strong. My body is reacting faster because of you. He frowned. Because of me. She nodded weakly. I told you. Saliari instincts do not choose lightly. They choose someone whose energy matches. Someone whose mind and heart align with ours. Someone our body sees as safe. Her voice trembled. My biology is pulling too hard. It is giving you more strength than I can handle. Raylan wanted to deny it, but he couldn't. His body felt impossibly alive. He could hear distant footsteps, vibrations in the rails. Even small drops of water falling from a pipe. Across the room. He wasn't normal anymore, but he wasn't afraid. Not of this. He pushed a strand of hair from her face. You told me your people can bond deeply. Does that mean our energy is compatible? Leora's cheeks warmed faintly. Compatible is a small word. She swallowed. Raylan, I think you were born with the kind of energy my people dream of bonding with. She looked down, voice shaking. But I was not ready to meet someone like you. Silence stretched between them, soft, warm. Confusing, but it didn't last long. A harsh metallic bang echoed from the far tunnel, followed by distorted voices. They're almost here, Raylan muttered. Leora weakly reached for his hand. Raylan, if they capture me, they can force the bond. They can use my energy to turn soldiers into monsters. That won't happen, he said firmly. But if they hurt you, my body will react wildly again. I could drain myself to death. He squeezed her hand gently. Then you have to trust me. Leora looked up, tears forming in her eyes. I already do. Raylan took a deep breath, moved closer, and placed her hand against his chest. Then let your energy flow. Let it strengthen me. I'll carry the weight. She shook her head. If I let it flow fully, the bond might complete. Then let it complete, Raylan whispered that her breath caught. You don't understand what that means. When a Saliari forms a full bond, our hearts connect. Our emotions merge. We feel each other. Live for each other. She shivered. It is forever, Raylan. There's no undoing it. He didn't hesitate. Then I want it. Leora stared at him, shocked, trembling, unable to speak. But she didn't need to. Her glow burst like soft moonlight, filling the chamber. Raylan felt a wave of warmth rush through his chest, comforting, powerful, almost like a breath of life, entering his soul. Her fingers curled around his shirt. Her forehead touched his shoulder. And then, The bond ignited. Rylan gasped as a sudden rush of emotions. Memories and pure energy surged through him. He felt her fear, her loneliness, her hope, everything she had been hiding behind her gentle voice. Leora cried softly as her body leaned fully into him. "It's happening. I can't stop it." Raylan wrapped his arms around her. "Then don't." Her glow filled the chamber with silver light. The old subway walls shook. Dust lifted into the air like falling snow, and deep inside his chest, a new heartbeat synced with his own. Hers, they were connected. Completely. But the moment the bond reached its peak, Leora collapsed against him, her glow fading sharply. Raylan caught her before she hit the ground. "Leora, stay awake." She opened her eyes slightly, voice barely a whisper. "Don't be afraid. This happens when a bond completes." Her body trembled. "My energy needs time to recover." Raylan lifted her into his arms again, but something new burned inside him, a strength he had never felt before. His muscles felt charged. His senses were sharper than any soldier's. The hunters had no idea what they were walking into. He kissed the top of her head gently. "Rest. I'll protect you until your energy returns." A low rumble echoed behind him, heavy boots entering the abandoned subway. Rylan stood tall. Leora safe in his arms, his eyes cold with determination. "They're coming," he whispered. And for the first time Rylan didn't feel outnumbered. He felt ready. The subway chamber trembled as armored boots marched in from the main tunnel. Dust drifted from the ceiling, pipes rattled, and the old metal rails vibrated under the force of the incoming squad. Raylan tightened his grip around Leora's unconscious form, her faint silver glow resting weakly against his chest. He could hear everything. Every footstep, every metallic click of weapons, every breath from the hunters. His senses were sharper than any soldier, sharper than humanly possible. Bond had changed him, and the hunters were about to learn that. Rylan slowly lowered Leora behind a concrete barrier and placed his hand gently on her cheek. "Stay safe, Leora," he whispered. "I'll handle this." As if responding to his voice, her glow flickered faintly, almost like a heartbeat. Rylan stood up, turned toward the dark tunnel, and inhaled deeply. The hunters entered with their weapons raised, 6 of them, fully armored, their eyes glowing red behind black helmets. Their leader, a tall figure with silver markings on his armor, stepped forward. "There's no escape," the leader announced. "Hand over the Ciliari girl. Your resistance is useless." Raylan cracked his knuckles, surprisingly calm. "You've been chasing the wrong prey." The leader raised a weapon. "You are only human. Stand aside." Raylan's eyes narrowed. "Not anymore." The hunters opened fire. Energy bolts shot across the abandoned subway, lighting the darkness with blue streaks. But Rylan moved before the first bolt even reached him. His body reacted like instinct, fast, fluid, precise. He dodged the shots with unnatural speed, his feet barely touching the ground. The leader froze, stunned. How is a human moving like that? Raylan didn't answer. He charged. The impact shook the chamber. Raylan slammed into the first hunter like a crashing wave, knocking him through a rusted ticket booth. Metal bent like paper. The second hunter swung a blade. Raylan caught it midair and snapped it in half with one hand. The hunters hesitated. That hesitation was deadly. Rylan spun, grabbing the third attacker by the chest plate and hurling him across the platform, sending him crashing into the old train car. His heart pounded with new strength. Strength that was not his alone. He felt Leora's energy flowing inside him, warm, powerful, alive. The bond pulsed like a second heartbeat, guiding his movements. But with every surge of power he felt in himself, he also sensed something else. Leora's exhaustion, her weakness, her fading glow. He had to end this quickly. The leader stepped forward, anger crackling through his voice. This is impossible. The bond should not be complete. It takes days, weeks. Raylan wiped blood from his lip, though it wasn't his. Leora and I didn't choose the timing. The bond chose itself. The alien leader hissed. Then I'll break it. He lunged faster than any human soldier, his armor surging with artificial enhancements. The clash shook the ground. Raylan blocked the attack with his forearm, sparks exploding on impact. Their movements blurred, fists striking, boots sliding across broken rails. The leader struck Raylan in the ribs. Pain shot through him, but he steadied himself quickly. His vision sharpened. His muscles tightened. A soft whisper echoed inside his mind. Raylan. Lior. Not awake. Not speaking. This was the bond. Her voice, drifting through his thoughts like a faint breeze. Be careful. Raylan's eyes lit with determination. He twisted away from the leader's next attack, grabbed him by the chest plate, and slammed him into the metal pillar so hard the entire platform shook. The leader coughed, stunned. No human should have this power. Raylan stepped back, breathing hard. You should have left her alone. He drove his fist into the leader's helmet, shattering the visor. The leader fell to his knees, but before Raylan could deliver the final blow, a soft, weak voice called out behind him, Raylan, stop. He turned instantly. Leora had pushed herself halfway up, her body shaking violently. Her glow flickered like a dying star. Raylan ran to her and knelt beside her, lifting her gently. Leora, you shouldn't move. She touched his cheek with trembling fingers. Your energy. It's too high. If you keep fighting with the bond active, it could overload you. Raylan swallowed hard. I can handle it. No, she whispered. Because I feel everything you feel. If you push your body too far, the bond will hurt us both. Her words froze him. She could feel his pain, his fear, his rage. Everything. Raylan exhaled slowly and placed her hand against his chest. Then I'll fight smarter. Not harder. She gave him a weak smile. You always say the right thing. But before they could speak more, the alien leader rose behind them, bloody, furious, shaking with rage. You think this is over? He growled, raising a detonator. If I cannot take the girl, I will bury both of you here. Leora's eyes widened. Raylan! The leader pressed the trigger. The walls began to collapse. Leora screamed and threw her arms around Raylan. Her glow exploded outward, bigger than before, brighter than flames. Raylan held her tight as the chamber fell apart around them. A shockwave burst outward. Dust and metal filled the air. The world went white. And then silence. Asterisk silence filled the collapsed subway chamber, thick and heavy like dust. Raylan couldn't see anything, not the walls, not the debris, not even the hunters. Everything was buried in a cloud of smoke and broken metal, but he felt one thing clearly. A faint heartbeat pressed against his chest. Lior. Her glow, though weak, shimmered like a silver spark beneath his arms. Raylan shifted rubble off his back, coughing hard, and shielded her body as the last pieces of the ceiling crashed behind them. Leora, talk to me, he whispered, brushing dust from her face. Her eyelids fluttered open. Raylan, you're alive. He let out a shaky breath. Only because of you. She smiled weakly. No, because of us. The bond pulsed softly between them, warm and comforting, even in the ruins around them. But Raylan could feel something else. Her energy was nearly gone. Supporting him, protecting him, shielding them from the explosion. It drained her beyond her limits. We need to get out. Raylan whispered. Lior tried to move but collapsed instantly, pain crossing her face. Raylan, I don't think I can walk anymore. That's okay, he said softly, pulling her into his arms again. I'll carry you. Her faint silver glow warmed his chest as he moved to the broken chamber. But the deeper he walked, the heavier her breathing became. She leaned her forehead against him. "Rylan." "Listen," she whispered. "The bond, if I lose too much energy, it will break." Rylan froze mid-step. "Break?" he whispered. "What happens if it breaks?" Leora swallowed painfully. "A ciliary bond is not just energy. It connects our life threads. If it snaps from exhaustion, one of us could..." She didn't finish. She didn't need to. Fear stabbed through Rylan's chest. "No, I won't let that happen." She touched his cheek with a trembling hand. "You don't understand. My body gave you too much energy. You are carrying more than any human should. If you fight again, if you push yourself, your heart may not survive the strain." Rylan closed his eyes, holding her close. "Then I'll survive for both of us." A distant metallic echo interrupted them. Boots, dragging metal, voices. Rylan stiffened. "They're still alive." A shadow moved in the smoke, then another, and another. The hunters hadn't died in the collapse. Their armor flickered with red energy, damaged but functional. And behind them, limping slowly but with burning rage in his eyes, came the alien leader's guard, bleeding, but very much alive. "You cannot escape," the leader growled. "She belongs to us." Rylan stepped forward, still cradling Leora. "If you want her, you'll have to kill me," the leader smirked. "Gladly." He raised his weapon and Leora suddenly gripped Rylan's shirt, panic flashing in her eyes. "Rylan, don't fight." "If you use the bond again, your heart," Rylan whispered back, "then I'll fight without it." But Leora shook her head, tears forming. "You can't. The hunter's armor is still active. You'll be killed." Rylan stared at her, torn between fear and determination. "Then what do we do?" Leora placed her palm over his heart. Her glow brightened, but painfully, faintly flickering like a candle fighting wind. "There is one way," she whispered. "The final stage of the bond, if we complete it. It will unleash a force neither human nor ciliary can normally create." Rylan swallowed. "A force?" She nodded. "A wave of pure emotional energy. A soul link. A shield stronger than any weapon." She paused, trembling. "But it requires something rare." Rylan gently cupped her face. "What is it?" Her eyes filled with tears. "A complete emotional connection. Total trust. Total love. No fear, no hesitation." Rylan didn't blink. "I already have that." Leora gasped softly. "Rylan." He held her face, steady and sure. "I chose you long before this bond chose me." For a second, time stopped, and then her glow exploded outward like a rising star. Silver light wrapped around them, both warm, alive, pulsing like two hearts beating as one. Leora cried softly, burying her face into Rylan's chest as the bond deepened, tightened, strengthened beyond biology. The hunters shielded their eyes, confused. "What is happening?" The leader shouted. Rylan's body lifted slightly off the ground, guided by the glow. Leora's arms tightened around him as their energies intertwined completely. A shockwave burst, outward, beautiful and violent at the same time. Pure silver light filled the entire chamber. The hunters screamed, armor sparking, systems failing. Then they were thrown across the ruins like broken dolls. The leader tried to resist, but the wave of soul energy crushed his weapon, shattered his armor, and sent him crashing into the wall with enough force to knock him unconscious. The light faded slowly, leaving the chamber silent once again. Rylan opened his eyes. He was sitting on the ground, Leora in his lap, glowing softly but peacefully. Her breathing had steadied. Her eyes opened gently. "Rylan, we survived." He smiled, touching her cheek. "We did more than survive." She leaned her forehead against his, the bond warm and calm between them. "We completed it," she whispered. "And we did it together," he replied. In the quiet ruins of the subway, with danger behind them and an entire future ahead, Leora wrapped her arms around Rylan, and he held her closer than ever. For the first time, there was no fear, no hunters, no shadows, just a human and an alien girl, bound by something stronger than weapon or war dot, something no enemy could ever break. Love.